Hi guys, welcome back or welcome to Switch to Life. Today we are going to be discussing something that I really wanted to talk about. The possibility of an NCU. Yes, you heard that right. NCU, not MCU. The N stands for Nintendo Cinematic Universe, that is. So basically, it's a movie universe which has a bunch of crossovers dealing with Nintendo characters. And it all starts with the crossover film of Super Smash Bros. And I believe that the Mario movie is actually none other than the very first installment of this Nintendo Cinematic Universe. Especially when you put this line from Peach in the movie.
There's a huge universe out there. With a lot of galaxies. They're all counting on us.
It turns out that in this case, she's not talking about all their galaxies like DK Jungle or Desert Land or New Donk City or something like that. I don't know. But she's actually talking about other franchises, other worlds. AKA, we're going to see other planets with lots of other characters, and eventually they are going to cross over in a Super Smash Bros. Movie. And similar to Marvel Studios, if the movie is successful, we could see multiple phases with multiple crossovers with multiple Avengers-style movies. But we can't plan out movies that far into the future, so instead, I think we should just discuss what Nintendo should do with Phase 1, aka, the first batch of movies. Obviously, the first one needs to be the Super Mario Bros. Movie, but after that, what next? How do we decide what films Nintendo should make? I believe that we should look to none other than Super Smash Bros., and I don't mean the entire series, I mean the very first game. Despite the large roster that we have with the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate game, it all started way back in 1996 when Super Smash Bros. 1 was released. Lots of people call it Super Smash Bros. 64 simply because it was first released on the Nintendo 64, but the game is actually called Super Smash Bros. Believe it or not, the roster of Super Smash Bros. Currently has over 80 characters, but the first game only had 12. And for this video, we're going to focus on the core 8, the main heroes. These guys are the 6 original Avengers, and there are 8 of them, the starting roster. Now, I'm just going to make this abundantly clear. There shouldn't be 8 movies leading up to this crossover. Instead, we just need movies that establish the characters. And from what I can tell, the Super Mario Bros. Movie will already do the job of establishing 4 of the characters from the first game. Mario, Luigi, Donkey Kong, and maybe even Yoshi. And if the film doesn't explore Yoshi's character, then a short film made by Illumination very well could. But that still leaves 8 characters from the original game. Because of this, I believe that we should go by, their number. Numbers 1 and 2 are Mario and Donkey Kong, and number 3 is Link from the Legend of Zelda franchise. So, I believe that the second Nintendo movie should be The Legend of Zelda. And not just any Legend of Zelda, it's not gonna be The Legend of Zelda from Breath of the Wild for obvious reasons, but like the Mario movie, this needs to be an origin story for all of our characters, which means that we need to look for the very first game in the Zelda franchise. And I also don't mean the original Legend of Zelda on the NES. What I mean is The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, which is the first game chronologically and is actually the origin for the entire Legend of Zelda series. The movie will establish who the character of Link, Zelda, and Ganon, or Ganondorf, really are, and what their origins are like. Despite being the third character in the Smash roster, this will be the second film by Nintendo after the Super Mario Bros. Movie. So, what is film number 3, or character number 4? I present to you Samus from Metroid. Now, I'm going to be honest, I haven't played a single Metroid game, despite the fact that now there are 2 of them on the Nintendo Switch. But no, I haven't played either. I don't know the Metroid franchise all that well. All that I do know is that Samus is a girl in that suit. So if you're thinking this is the next Tony Stark, well, you're wrong. Because I don't know the franchise all that well, I'm not going to specify which game or games this one should be based on or anything. So let's just move on. As I have already established, Yoshi is the fifth character of Super Smash Bros., but his story is already covered in the Super Mario Bros. Film. So we move on to character number 6, Kirby. Okay, so I'm going to be honest here. I've played a couple of the Kirby games, but I don't really know the lore all that well, so I don't know what the first chronological game is, or even if there is a chronological order to these games, which there probably is. But because I don't know, I can't specify what game this should be based on. What I can tell you is that Kirby is one of the most important Nintendo characters and deserves a film. Now, let's move on to our 7th character, Fox McCloud from the Star Fox franchise. As I have said in all of the other films, this should be an origin story where Fox McCloud first bands together the team of Star Fox after his father passes away at the beginning of the film. This will introduce the main villain of Wolf O'Donnell, as well as the other members of Team Star Fox, which is Peppy Hare, Slippy Toad, and of course, Falco Lombardi. And our final film is going to be none other than Pokemon. Literally, this should be an origin story of a Pokemon trainer who just starts out with Pikachu as his main Pokemon. And no, I don't mean Ash Ketchum. His story should end with the anime that it's currently ending right now at the time of recording this video. It should be a brand new trainer, one who is unique to the Nintendo Cinematic Universe, and who we can follow through a trilogy of films. The first film should focus on the start of his journey. The second film should focus on him trying to take down the organization of Team Rocket. And the third and final film should focus on him trying to win the Pokemon Championship. Please note that only the first film is going to be released during Phase 1. Now, you're probably wondering, hold up, you're forgetting 2 characters from the first Smash game, Captain Falcon and Ness from Earthbound. Well, I'm actually not. I think that they're not really important enough to consider getting an entire film, but maybe a single short film. That could happen. And it would definitely establish enough of the characters so that if they pop up in the crossover movie, people won't be confused like, who are these guys? But they also don't need to know that much context about them. So there you have it, my layout for the first phase of the entire NCU, which is essentially start with the Super Mario movie, then have The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, a Metroid movie, a Kirby movie, a Star Fox movie, and finally a Pokemon movie before bringing it all together with the Super Smash Bros. Movie and ending the phase with 7 movies in total, with a couple short films here to introduce some established characters like Yoshi, Ness, Captain Falcon. Now, you're probably wondering, who would even make these movies? Well, I'm glad to answer that for you. Illumination and Nintendo have of course partnered together to make the Mario movie, and I'm sure that the profits from the Mario movie will actually go towards Nintendo Pictures, who will begin making a few of these films, while Illumination handles maybe 1 or 2. There's definitely talks about having Illumination handle the Legend of Zelda movie, but those are just unconfirmed rumors right now. And, of course, I think that the Pokemon Company could definitely do their own Pokemon film, especially because we've already seen what they can do with the CGI film like Pokemon Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution. So, there you have it. The roadmap to the Nintendo Cinematic Universe. And, of course, there will be future phases, but we're going to let the success of Phase 1 determine what happens with the future phases. Also, it doesn't need to be a movie. It could be TV shows and movies working together to tell these stories, or maybe just movies and short films. Whatever the case is, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video and that you want to see a Nintendo movie as well. Leave a comment down below for which movie you guys would like to see. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a bunch of Zelda movie fans. But if you want, like this video and subscribe if you want to watch my next video, which will come out next Friday. Until then, I hope you guys are staying safe out there, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye.